Welcome to 10,000 Things with Two Sisters Writing and Publishing, where we share the 10,000 things you need to know to write, publish, and promote your book. I'm Elizabeth Ann Atkins.
And I'm Catherine Greenspan.
And tonight we have a very special show with a powerful message for you. It's all about writing, of course. And we were both tremendously inspired last week on Inauguration Day when President Joe Biden said in his inaugural address, "Together we shall write an American story of hope, not fear, of unity, not division, of light, not darkness, a story of decency and dignity, love and healing, greatness and goodness. May this be the story that guides us, that the story that inspires us." Guess what? That summarizes the mission of Two Sisters Writing and Publishing, about to celebrate 5 years in business in February of 2021, 27 books later, with 8 more coming soon. And Catherine and I are so excited to talk with you tonight to sort of inspire you, encourage you to write the message that President Biden expressed: hope, not fear, unity, not division, decency and dignity, love and healing, inspiration, guidance. So that's what Catherine and I do. She wrote her young adult series, the Veronica series, about a biracial girl navigating the tricky terrain of boys, family, race, and the world. And I wrote my memoir, God's Answer is No: Lessons from a Spiritual Life, with teaching tools that you can use to have a spiritual life and make a positive impact on the world. And then our mother wrote her memoir, sharing her story of triumph over abuse, racism, religious scandal, all kinds of challenges. And then we proceeded to organically attract people with powerful stories of against the odds success, often involving diversity and inclusion, such as former Detroit Mayor Dennis Archer. And so, our message to you tonight is all about that. It all comes together and back at you to write your inspirational, motivational, unifying, hope filling book. Right, Catherine?
Yeah, that's right. Everybody has a story to share, and we should all be sharing our stories because someone somewhere will benefit from reading our stories.
That is absolutely true. Absolutely. I've had multiple meetings with writers today who are thinking about writing a book, and many of them have a very unique perspective, and they are called. Something in their spirit is calling them to write a book, which will touch the lives of others. And the more unique your perspective, the more powerful impact it could have on per people. But the thing is, sometimes writers who are thinking about writing a book think, oh, it's already been done, or no, I don't, mine isn't good enough, whatever. No, do it. Your unique story will touch someone's life and inspire them, help them, provide a blueprint for them to get through whatever obstacles they're facing. Do you agree with that, Catherine?
I agree with it wholeheartedly because when people write fiction, there's this sense that all stories have already been told, which is true, but no one can tell your own personal story.
Right,
You may
right.
have a common theme with other storytellers or other memoirs that are out there, but only you have been walking in your shoes and seeing the world from through your eyes.
Yes. Yes. And Max is lurking in the shadows of the bookcase to emphasize the story and the message tonight. Max the cat. He's like this figure in front of the books.
Oh, here he comes. Where will he go?
So it's really, really important to boss up to your mission if you feel called to write a book. Catherine and I want to share a few other reasons why you should write a book. And one of them is, if you have a business, your book can serve as a brand booster. It can amplify your authority in your field. It can make you the go-to expert for media interviews when they're needing to talk to someone on a certain topic. It can serve as the curriculum for an online course that pertains to whatever your business is, especially if you're a coach or like a nutritionist or a fitness person or wellness advocate. You can compile all your information in a book, and then people have it as a physical reference point in front of them. We are in several online courses right now learning about all kinds of things. And I really like, first you print off some pages that the teacher sends to us, but I really like the workbook experience where you get to write in it. So if you write a book that has lines in it, like former Army Ranger, not former, um, Cedric King, Master Sergeant Cedric King, who was an Army Ranger in Afghanistan and stepped on a bomb and lost his legs. He wrote an amazing book that we published called The Making Point: How to Turn Your Breaking Point into Success. And he provides lines in the book where you can actually use it as a workbook. And so I really like that interactive experience. So if you have an expertise in a particular area, you can expand your reach and influence by teaching your content in your book and making it a workbook as a curriculum that you teach. And that provides you, first of all, to reach more people in a more impactful way. And secondly, can multiply your streams of income because you're first selling the book. You are also taking tuition for people who register for your course. And it can lead to speaking engagements, which is another paid opportunity to reach more people and have a book signing with book sales. And yes, you can do that virtually. So the sky's the limit, but a book can really, really, really expand your reach and your impact. And that's, the pandemic has spawned so many entrepreneurs, people seeking home-based businesses, and having a book as part of that will really set you apart as a credential to show that you are a boss, you're an expert in your field.
Right, because if you're a coach and you just have a website and that's where all your material is and you keep sending people to it, versus if you have a book, people can basically learn and grasp, because we all learn differently. I don't learn from reading something online. I don't like reading books online or on a Kindle or whatever. I need the book
Yeah.
because I can
Yeah.
absorb it.
We
And
both like that
sometimes, even when
physical.
I get like an audio book and I listen to it, sometimes it's important for me to actually get the physical book because I want to see it and touch it. So, one of the students in your in your writing 6-month writing coaching program from last January, her book will be out soon. Kathy Callie, and her book is Give, Save, Spend: How to Save the World While Building Wealth. And she's a money and finance coach, and her book is her manifesto of her mission and her own personal story. So taking her course from her and then having her book to supplement it, it's like you can, have her as your coach, not just when you're in her course, but forever, because you can use her book. It has teaching tools. And that's similar to the reason that Cedric King wanted to write a book, was because he would give these riveting speeches to crowds, and they would have this sense of, oh, how can we take you home with us? How can we keep you with us?
Uh-huh.
And his book reads just as if he's talking. So people are able to basically have you with them even after you're not with them anymore.
Yes. And if you never, Cedric also said not everybody will get to hear him speak, which is an absolute joy to hear him speak. And for those who are unable, the book will serve as his voice to them. And then the first book we published by someone other than ourselves was Dr. Herman Williams, Clear: Living the Life You Didn't Dream of. And he dropped dead of cardiac arrest at age 31 and lived to tell about it and write a book about it. And he created something called the kindness scale. So he too, the last section of the book is actually a workbook where you can apply the kindness scale to your world, to your life, to your leadership. And it's really powerful. So,
Yeah, all of our books are stories of inspiration, and a number of them have teaching sections in them, or exercises in
mm,
them.
yeah, really important. And then our mother's book, though she does not have a teaching section, it is her memoir. You learn from reading people's stories about how she coped as a child with a physically and emotionally abusive mother, what she told herself to survive that and to thrive through it and to create an amazing life afterwards of accomplishment and the kind of love and parenting for us that she never had. So you learn lessons just by reading people's stories, which
And the
is,
reason I wrote the Veronica books is so that biracial girls will have stories to relate to. And
yes.
a number of parents of biracial kids, or even non biracial kids, have read them, and the stories have really resonated and opened the eyes of adults of like, what is a biracial girl feeling during the identity forming years of 13, 14, and so on.
Hmm. I love that so much. These are the, like, they're so beautiful. And girls who, of all different backgrounds, have written to Catherine to say how much they were engaged and inspired by her storytelling because it's really, the universal themes of wanting to fit in and who am I and why is the world so weird? So really powerful. And not to mention the tremendous sense of accomplishment that you'll have when you write your book. And there's so many ways that you can publish your book now. You can self-publish on Amazon tonight, or you can go with a hybrid like us, where we merge the self-publishing with traditional publishing, where people pay us to do all the steps involved in publishing. And or you can get a literary agent and go to a traditional publishing house. There's so many different ways, and whatever works best for you and your platform are best. So the bottom line is some people even write a book and don't want to publish it. It's just that they're writing down their legacy in their words, and that's very important. I strongly recommend that you do that. It's your story, and once you're not here anymore, no one can tell that story or the stories you've retained from oral histories through the generations. You might be the last in line to really know the stories that your grandmother or grandfather or great grandmother told you. And so once you're gone, those are gone. And sadly, the pandemic underscores the urgency of everybody to record your family stories. Our cousin, well, our grandfather and his sister, Aunt Mary, and compiled our family tree all the way back to Europe in the 1300s. And then our cousin Rose had them bound, had the stories bound, and gave each of us, and they're like this thick, that one Thanksgiving, she gave a copy to everybody in the family. It was amazing. So we had this physical, it was like a spiral bound um, compilation of it had pictures and maps and work stories and the whole history, and it's right there because they did the work. So what if you could give that as a gift to your family? My point is that during the pandemic, sadly, more than 400,000 people are no longer here to tell their story. So I believe it underscores the urgency to tell your story now while you're here. And hopefully, we'll all be well through the pandemic. But just in case, it just emphasizes that life is unpredictable. And while we're here and well, we need to do as much as we can, including telling the family story. Actually, people have called me recently saying I'm inspired to do my book during the pandemic. First, they had extra time. Secondly, they're like, wait a minute, I better do this now. And they are. That's why lots of people are writing books right now.
Yes,
So,
they are. They are.
yes. Yeah.
So, just before we wrap up, We have an update from last week. Last week, I mentioned an email blast that came from a local juice bar, and I emailed them as soon as I got it. They were sort of trivializing Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and I emailed them requesting an apology. Well, apparently, so did a lot of people, but a lot of people were not necessarily as tactful as I was in my request. But they did send out, literally within minutes of our show ending last week, they did send out a formal apology to the for the insensitive nature, and the owner of the company said he would make an effort to review the marketing messages before they go out. So that did happen.
Oh, that's really, really good news. That's really good news. It's so important to speak up and to speak up tactfully. That's really a credit to you, Catherine, that, speaking up tactfully and like Michelle Obama says, go high, stay high.
When they go low, we go high.
hmm And some people don't even realize all the time that they're going low. Sometimes with language around diversity and inclusion, not everybody is as sensitive as we are, and that's why the constructive criticism should be done tactfully and not as an attack.
Well,
That
nobody hears them. Nobody hears you when you're attacking them. So
right, exactly.
that's not communication.
It's not. That's why I think we're very skilled at that, because we've grown up in a dual multiracial experience. So we're able to speak with sensitivity around the conversations in many ways to whoever we're speaking to in a way that's diplomatic so it can be heard and results can occur. That's one really good thing about last year and all the protests. People opened up to the conversation to learn what is okay to say and what isn't and why. And there's so many things that others can take offense to that if you don't know it's offensive to the other person or group, somebody needs to tell you. Like the word squaw for Native American women is a huge insult. But does everybody know that? I don't know. We have to tell people that it's not okay. Um, And also, this is a whole nother show, but talking about racial terms in the context of the era. So, for example, when our mother was growing up, Black people were called Negro. So, in her book, she uses the term Negro, which nobody would use now, but it was appropriate for the time and it was an accurate portrayal of the time. So again, that's a whole nother conversation, but it's important for all of us to take responsibility to educate each other. In fact, there's certain terms some people think are okay. Well, let's talk about that another day, Catherine.
Okay, that sounds great. That sounds like another show.
It
Words.
really does.
The words and their meanings.
So important, so very, very important. Yes. Yes. So that's what we love. We're wordsmiths, we're book lovers, and we just get excited about verbs. so, so I hope you'll check out writer talks that I did tonight alone. We didn't have a short story winner for me to interview, but I talked about book coaching, which my program starts on Wednesday. In case you're trying to write a book, I lead the 6-month program that, as Catherine said, Kathy Callie participated in, and Dr. Elaine Mackes participated in. She was in the program, and she now has this book in hardcover, paperback, and ebook on Amazon and all book publishing sites, book retail sites. And
39,000 of them.
yes, all around the world. And also tomorrow, former Detroit Mayor Dennis Archer and I will be the debut book for the Detroit Writing Room's new book club, which Catherine will be attending as well.
Super
And so
excited.
pardon?
I'm super excited for the Detroit Writing Rooms book club.
Yes, Stephanie Steinberg had a vision, the creator of the Detroit Writing Room, and it will be on Zoom, so anybody on the planet can join us. And it will be amazing. And Mayor Archer will be there. And this is his book that I had the honor of writing with him. And it was one of the first books that we published. So that's tomorrow. So we hope you can join us. I'll put the link in the description box below here. Is there anything else, Catherine?
No, that covers everything.
All right, awesome. This is really fun, and I hope you've found something that you can apply and take action to write your book. Even if you never publish it, it's your life story, and it really, really matters. If I can just share one more thing, when you write your life story, it serves as a mirror into who you are, where you've been, who you've become. And that enables you to better determine how to get where you want to go, because you'll see all that you did and all that you didn't do yet, and how you've done it and how you might want to change. You'll notice habits, relationships, patterns, and such that might be holding you back. And then you're like, whoa, wow, I'm looking in the mirror of my life. How can I change to going forward? How can I script that reality for my future? It's such an awesome experience to write your book, because you will just get these insights and revelations and be able to let go of stuff that's no longer serving you. Okay, I can
Love
talk
it.
till midnight about this.
I love it.
Yeah. All right. Well, Catherine, anything else?
That's all.
Okay. Thank you, all of you, for joining us tonight on 10,000 Things That You Need to Know to Write, Publish, and Promote Your Book. I'm Elizabeth Ann Atkins,
And I'm Catherine Greenspan.
and we are two sisters writing and publishing and now celebrating 5 years in business, 27 books later, with 8 more to come. And we appreciate that you joined us. Please do like, share, subscribe, comment. We'd love to know any questions you have about writing that we can address in future shows. And share this with anybody who might need the inspiration and motivation.
And
And
share any questions that you have for us.
yes, we want to know. We know lots of information about writing and publishing, and we'd love to help you. So thank you for joining us, and we will see you next Monday evening for another episode of 10,000 Things. Meanwhile, happy reading and happy writing.